If you are an xTool Studio user, then this is the video for you. I am going to be running through my top 7 tips. Yes, I got the numbers right, plus a bonus one at the end that xTool do not advertise. They do not actively show you, but these tips will allow you to really improve your workflow and streamline your processes within xTool Studio and just improve your overall xTool experience. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. So we are flying straight in with tip number 1, and that is, did you know you can have more than one xTool machine or device connected to xTool Studio at the same time? Let me show you how it's done. So if I show you the top right here, you'll see I've got the xTool F2 connected at the moment. I also have an F1 Ultra and an F2 UV. So if I also wanted to connect them, all I need to do is open a new tab, and you do that by selecting the plus arrow up there. It will open a new tab and it will by default connect to the existing machine. Then you just need to select that button right there, and it will bring up an option and show you your list of machines that you've got. In this case, I am going to switch it to the UV, which I will do. And then what you should see is it is green and connected. It's also showing the camera. If we go back to our original F2 tab, and it does distinguish the machines, you can see F2 there and F2 Ultra UV. We are now connected to both machines. We could do that with a third machine as well, which I will very quickly show you. And that will be the F1 Ultra, and we'll switch to that as well. And then as you'll see right now, as if by magic, we are connected to all 3 of our machines and they're all good to go. Let's move on to tip number 2. So we're straight on to tip 2, and it kind of coincides with tip 1, and that is renaming your machine. If you've got multiple of the same machine or different machines and you want to identify them, well, you'll see at the moment by default our name is xTool_F2V2. It's a bit of a long-winded name. If you want to get a bit creative though, you can change the name of your machine, and we'll do that right now. Click on device settings up here. It will bring up our device settings box, and as you can see right there, simple as anything, change your device name. I'm going to call mine xTool F2 Chris, just for detail here. Once you've done that, click away and you'll see it's updated it there. We're going to close that now, and up the top right, if we zoom in again, our machine is now changed to xTool F2 Chris. I could do that for all 3 of those machines, and then I can easily identify them. Let's move on to tip number 3. So here we are, tip number 3, and this one is regarding the setup of your workspace, and it feeds into other things, and it is ultimately to do with the fill light or the brightness of the light in your machine. So all 3 of my machines have got lights. If you've got the F1 standard, it won't have a light. I think all the other machines do. And now what you'll find is sometimes you're engraving on certain materials and you either need the light turned down so you can actually see the framing box, or you need it turned up so you can see the item. So let me show you how to adjust the brightness of your light. So once again, we are going to be going to the top right. We're going to click on the device settings box, and then it's going to bring us up here where we've just seen our name change. We are going to click device settings and scroll down, and you will see front light and backlight. This is specific to the xTool F2. It may be different. I know it's different on the F1 Ultra and the F2 Ultra UV, but in this case, you can type in the brightness. I could go for 100% brightness on both of those. And then if I update my picture, I wouldn't be surprised if it looks a bit brighter on the picture, as you can see there, but also the machine behind me is now brighter. So let me show you it in action so you can get an idea. We've got the F2 here, and currently it's on a dim setting. If I increase it and press enter, as you can see, we have a brighter light, which makes it easier to view in and get the safety aspect of what you're doing. Let's move on to tip number 4. So here we are, tip number 4, and this one directly links to the previous one of adjusting the lighting. So if you're working with dark materials, in this case, we have a black business card. Sometimes you'll find the framing box, as you can see on the screen right now, is a bit dim and it's really hard to actually see. So you can do 2 things. The first is adjust the lighting internally. The second is if you click on the bottom right down here in the framing box, there is light power. You can adjust that between 1 and 10%, and once you do that, it should increase the brightness of the light. And doing that with a combination of reducing the lighting in the actual enclosure itself should give you a good contrasting result and allow you to place your item. Let's move on to tip number 5. Okay, here we are, tip number 5, and this one is about importing images and getting them either scaled up or scaled down by default. So you'll know if you've imported images in xTool Studio, and we will do that right now. And we're going to import an image of my beautiful dog Ted, who sadly passed away last week. We are going to import that, and by default at the moment we are getting this screen right here. The image is larger than the working area. Would you like to scale it to fit automatically? So you can keep the size if you want, and it will bring it in humongous. Look at that tongue right there. Or you could click scale to fit. But if you actually have a preference or you can click scale to fit. But if you actually have a preference, we can adjust that so that it always does it. And the way we do that, we're going to click on this main menu button in the top right. We are going to go to settings. Then we're going to scroll down, and there is a setting right here that says imported image too large for canvas. You can either get it to ask you every time if you want to auto scale it or keep it to size, or you can click on auto scale it every time, and that reduces that element, and then you can just have it however you want. You may want to bring in a picture to its full size so you can crop it down. You may not. But this just gives you that little bit of extra control to do what you need. Let's move on to tip number 6. Tip number 6, here we go. So this one, as it shows on the screen, we've got a nice cork coaster and we want to engrave some vector images on it, some text onto it. Well, what we're going to do first is we're going to hit that process button in the bottom right, and it should bring up some time in the top right. And there you go, 1 minute 17. Well, what would you say if I told you this tip is going to save that time and shave 20 to 30 seconds off of that engraving time? Well, let me show you it. So if you go to the bottom right corner, you will see process down there. If you click on that, by default, it's set to auto planning. Click on that one and then select user defining. You'll then be given another list, and within that list, put on smart engraving. What does that do, I hear you ask? Well, I'm about to show you. If I click that process button again, first of all, what is our final engraving time? 58 seconds. So it shaved it down. And let me show you exactly what it does. So normally an engrave will go side to side all the way down from top to bottom. Well, this is a bit smarter, and if I drag it across, you'll see it actually follows the contour and the curve of the text in the smartest way possible. And by doing that, you are saving time. Let's move on to number 7. So here we are, tip number 7 on the go. So as you can see, we have a coaster full of unique designs. Well, this tip is going to teach you that you can take a design from xTool Studio and you can export it in various different formats to use in other software should you choose to. So in this case, I want to take this as an SVG file and put it into LightBurn. How do I do that? Well, the way we go about doing that is we want to click this top left here. We want to go file, and then at the bottom, you are going to see an export tab, and then that will give us different options. If I can zoom in for you, and you can do XCS, which is an xTool native file, SVG, which is a vector file, PNG or JPG. So we are going for SVG in this case, all canvases. We're going to click confirm. It is then going to ask us to save it however we want. So let's just do test file. Click OK, and now I'm going to open up LightBurn and we're going to see how it comes in. So here we are in LightBurn. I am going to import my file, test file right there. And as you can see, that has come in. It's all selectable, all editable. We can do what we want with it. We can make it a fill and look like it was. So there you go. That is our number 7, or number 7, should I say. And now we're going to move on to our bonus tip. And this is one you probably definitely did not know about. And here we are. Now it's time for the bonus tip I promised you at the start. So this one is one I'm almost certain you won't know about, and it's really, really good for speeding up your application of everything within xTool Studio. So anyone who uses it knows at the moment, if you want to do something, you need to go onto the icons and you need to select things, and everything is fairly manual in that sense. Well, what we're going to be doing now is we are going to be going through hotkeys. So these are keys that will allow us to actually swiftly do things without having to manually click on things, and there is a way to determine exactly which hotkey you might want to use for your process. So let me show you how to do that. So we're going to move over to the left and we are going to click on that xTool logo right there. And at the bottom, or near the bottom, you are going to see hotkeys. If we click on that, what it will do is open up a web page, and I'm going to show you that bit right now. What that will do is bring up a website address. And as you can see, there is a hotkey for Windows and Mac OS, and everything you can think of has its own hotkey. The one I like in particular is Align Center, that one there. Let me zoom in. Control-Alt-Shift M. I love this. That allows you to centrally locate your image without having to click. So this is a really brilliant way to speed up your workflow by learning the shortcut, learning those hotkeys. At the moment, I don't think you can make them customized, but hopefully in the future, xTool bring that in. So there you have it. 7 of my best tips, plus a bonus one at the end. I want you guys to take those tips, implement it into your own workflow, and hopefully you can level up your game. Thank you very much for watching today. If you want to have more and get involved with the xTool community, then check out the Facebook group, links in our description, and any other information will be obtained down there below. Once again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and if you want to support the channel, consider joining as an L3D member. Take it easy, guys, and have a great day.